Morning, morning, morning.
Morning, morning, morning.
And I've been given one job and I can't even get that right.
Hello, morning.
Welcome, my friends, to the Kindness Project. I am joined by a girl who today is the boss of the show. It's Charlotte Dames.
And I'm joined by a man who's quite enjoying this switch of roles. Have you waved to anyone yet?
I haven't waved to anyone yet. Nobody's watching yet. Hope you're doing well this bright... oh, Justin's back. Morning, Justin. How are you? Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Kindness Project. This one, I've let Charlotte just take over. She's boss of the show. What are we talking about today?
I don't know. I'm just kind of... Oh my God.
No, don't worry about it. I'll do that. Go on.
You said you'd do it. But okay, so...
I'm being sacked from my own podcast by the looks of it. Go on.
Okay.
What are we talking about today?
Okay. We are talking about stuff that I have randomly generated because we haven't got a guest, so I have been left to it.
So what stuff are we talking about?
I think we should stick to the format and start with the question of the podcast.
Go on then.
So the question of the podcast today is, what's the world's best flower in your opinion? Oh, more comments.
Yeah. So what's the world? Morning, Sharon. How are you? Morning, Desmond. I hope you're doing well, mate. Thanks for joining us. Morning, Caroline. Go boss, Charlotte. Charlotte's in charge. So apparently we're answering first the question of the podcast, which is...
if anyone watching is currently up to answering the question of the podcast, it's what's the world's best flower in your opinion? Now, if you have a reason for that, please validate. If you just think they're pretty... That's also a valid reason.
There's no wrong answer to this one. There's no wrong answer to this one. But if you say anything apart from daffodil, which is my favourite flower, you're wrong. That's it.
That's not fair because I quite like dahlias, and that's just because they're pretty.
No, you're entitled to choose whatever you want as your favourite flower. You are certainly allowed.
Any comments?
And you can find us on. Shall I do that bit?
Yeah, that's usually my job.
If you'd like to... see, we're doing this role reversal thing today, so I'm just trying to work out what job I've got to do. If you'd like to get in touch, if you're watching live on Facebook, you're on our Facebook page, please leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. If you're not, and you're watching this on the podcast version, and we're up to, I think, about 120 odd podcasts now. 123. 123.
We've still got a backlog, so this will probably be like...
there'll be loads of... If you're listening to this on the podcast, you can get in touch with us via email on Holla, H-O-L-A, pronounced correctly for once, at the Kindness Project, at thekindnessproject.co.uk. The website is www.thekindnessproject.co.uk. You can tweet us at Holla Kindness, or just Google us, because if you Google the Kindness Project, we come up top.
Yes.
Because we've been about for a while, and apparently we're quite popular.
Nifty. Okay, so we already have an answer. I'm going to be doing this. You've got to stop laughing at me.
No, all right, it's good.
Okay, so we've already got an answer from Justin about his favourite flower. He says, it's cliche, but I would say the poppy because it is a beautiful flower. It is a beautiful flower, and especially at times like this, it has such meaning and poignance in terms of what it represents.
Love it.
We have received a
wave from Andrew. Hi, Andrew. How are you? Hi, Alan. Hi, Russ. And hi, Cassie, who's clearly watching from the garden.
Sent us a picture of a flower.
Oh, very nice. Love that. So, what should we do next,
okay,
boss?
So next on the format, I have...
What topics have we got today?
You don't want to know yet.
Okay, go on. Tell me.
Because,
Are they going to blow my mind, these topics?
They're so random.
I've got it.
Because I got them from a random word generator.
Okay.
Anyway, so, I have Dave Forsdyke's Reasons to be Grateful.
Oh, well done, Dave Forsdyke's Reasons to be Grateful /
Silver Linings.
Go on then, tell me.
I have it written as Reasons to be Grateful, but it's also written...
I don't think it's ever been Reasons to be Grateful. I think we made it up.
It's written in shorthand.
Okay, fair enough.
It's just RTBG.
Can I just say, before we went on the Kindness Project, Charlotte wanted to call this TKP. And I was like, what? TKP, like we were like sort of. I know that like your generation like to shorten things a bit,
It's
but
so much easier.
yeah, it is. It is. Go on, then,
Okay,
tell us.
so let's read today's silver linings. Wednesday, the 20th of May. I made a mistake in my notes. That's not good. My notes say the 19th. It's like...
Yeah, we got some for the 19th as well.
Oh, did we actually?
My sister sent me a brilliant list of silver linings written by an anonymous Facebook user. Take a moment to read it, and he's put it at the bottom. Traffic has gone, fuel is affordable,
Yep.
bills extended, kids are at home with their families, parents are at home taking care of their children, fast food replaced by home cooked meals.
Hectic schedules replaced by naps, rest, and relaxation.
The air seems cleaner.
The world is quieter. People are conscious about hygiene and health. Money doesn't make the world go round anymore. Designer clothing is pointless as nobody ever really needed it. Doctors and nurses are being praised and recognised instead of as celebrities. And we now have time, finally, to stop and smell the roses. Don't forget to look up at the stars. Our world is pretty amazing.
The positives of lockdown. I like that. I really like that. And goes with our flower theme as well, because it's got a rose in. We've got yesterday's silver lining, which is a Belgian maintenance company with a fleet of cranes is using the machines to reunite families with relatives living in high-rise care homes. Residents of nursing homes have been isolated from their families for weeks, and while those living on ground floors have been able to chat to loved ones, on the higher floors, you can't really do that through the window.
Can't. So these people are craning their family members up to see them. Aww.
That's an amazing story. I really like that. And then lockdown is also increasing our use of clean, renewable energy. Solar farms provided nearly 30% of the electricity in April,
good.
a big increase on last year. So I'm hoping that... You know what's weird? Like, sort of, I'm on, as you know, I'm on loads of Zoom calls at the minute.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk about the new normal and pivoting, which should go on my bingo sheet as stuff that's being said way too much in a minute. But I think some of the changes that are going to be happening are going to be positive. Do you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that. Good morning, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Okay.
So these random words, what's going on with them?
Okay, so you know that random word generator we were using to generate topics?
Yeah.
Well, I randomly generated words, and then I picked one word from that list and put it into Google News. And then I picked the first good news story. So the first word that came up was wood.
Right, are you genuinely saying we are going to discuss wood?
No, because the news story isn't about wood. It's about dogs from a rescue called Wood Green.
Oh, go on then, tell us.
So two dogs at Wood Green are being trained to smell the coronavirus in humans. These dogs are from Wood Green, the animal charity, and there are currently 6 dogs that are being trained to smell the coronavirus in human beings.
Is that possible?
I assume so. They're being trained to do it.
Yeah, I mean, dogs can sniff drugs and to sniff at other stuff. So, but is it possible that dogs can do that? It'd be interesting to see.
If the study
I don't. You know what I'm worried about? Going all Trump. Do you know what I mean? And going, like, you can shine sunlight through a human and you should drink, like, bleach or whatever. I don't want to go down that road, Charlotte.
Yeah, but it says that if the study is successful in 8 weeks,
Study.
each individual dog may be able to screen 250 people within the hour
That's
for the
good.
virus.
That's good.
Which means there are faster methods.
Clearly only a study at this point, and as believers in science and not quackery.
But it is promising.
You know what? I mean, why not experiment with this sort of stuff as long as, unless it works, we use it.
So,
I mean,
yeah, Norman and Jasper, working Cocker Spaniels.
amazing names as well. Norman and Jasper. We like
are
that.
among the 6 dogs that are being trained to sniff out the coronavirus, and if it works, it could increase testing.
Cool. Amazing. Good stuff. Well, I mean, the other thing is as well, you can now get tested normally, can't you? So the capacity for getting tested for the virus is certainly increasing. What's next?
Physics.
Why did you put controversial topics wood?
It says conversational.
Oh, conversational. Okay, that's fine.
not
And you know how controversial is wood. The other thing is as well. We got through that entire wood bit without me making one wood pun, which is all good for wood in the hood. I'm in the mood. Right, go on, carry on. What we got next?
Physics. Okay, physicists put their expertise towards ventilator storage. There was a physicist, Galbaiti, I think,
Okay.
who talked about using the complex systems using gas and physics that they were already working with, and using them to provide ventilation systems for hospitals. 2 days after he said this to, I think it was his brother, I read the article about twice last night, about 7:30, so...
Thanks for that little detail there. The research I did on this story was 7:30. I was wearing pyjamas. I was enjoying a hot chocolate. Can you tell us about the actual story?
So he began.
I had my hair in a bun.
I don't like buns. They make my hair uncomfortable.
See, more detail. Galbaiti did this, but I was drinking a hot chocolate with cream. Go on, talk to me.
Okay, so 2 days after he said this, he began building the collaboration that would eventually encompass more than 200 physicists, engineers, physicians around the world. In their spare time, this quickly assembled group developed and programmed a simple ventilator called the Mechanical Ventilator Milano.
Okay.
Made with off-the-shelf parts that could easily be manufactured and run with just oxygen and electricity. Within weeks, they had a working prototype. On May 1st, they received approval from the US Food and Drug Administration.
Amazing. Love that. And you know what? There are like sort of companies, commercial companies, stepping up to the plate during the current crisis and doing amazing stuff. I mean, there's a lot of engineering firms that retooled to create ventilators, medical equipment, PPE equipment, all of that sort of stuff. So that's all good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next bit of news.
Piano.
You know what? Can we just that when we do our normal general chit chat, we'll go to the news story at the minute. One of my missions for lockdown is to get better at the family piano, because we've got a piano in our lounge, front room, whatever you want to call it. And I have a little play, but I've never really got to grips with it. Yeah, we all have a little play, but we've never really got to grips with it. And I need to get better at piano. Is that?
Yeah, we all have an instrument, don't we? So I've got a clarinet.
Yeah, you've got a ukulele. That is so you, the ukulele. I think that suits you quite a lot. But I want to. It's certainly not the singing voice, my instrument, is it? Let's be frank about it.
Mine ain't either.
But the piano might be the one to go to. So I'm gonna learn a bit more about that. Anybody else out there watching us learning an instrument or learning a new skill in lockdown?
Have you been keeping an eye on the comments?
It'd be good to know whether you've been learning an instrument. And before we get to the other news article, morning Stella. Hope you're doing well. And Justin's made a comment. Now, Justin is a medical professional, which is more that can be said for both of us. He says, yes, dogs are used for detecting cancers and other conditions. Illnesses can cause a change in pheromones in the unwell person. And dogs are sensitive for picking up those pheromones. So thank you, Justin, for that
insight.
So dogs
could be trained.
Could be.
To slip out the group?
No, I didn't say they couldn't. What I said was we'd have to wait for the
8 weeks
for the test to show whether they could or not.
They're doing the test.
So pianos.
Tell me. Have you been checking the comments on the?
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm on my job. You do your job.
I've just got to check. Okay. So teenager spreads positivity with weekly online piano shows. An autistic teenage boy has set out to record a weekly piano show in an aim to spread positivity during the lockdown. Morgan Seward, 17 from Lewisham, has made it his duty to entertain others with a recorded piano performance every week for the Lewisham Be Involved and the Lewisham Positive Ageing Council websites. The teenager is a student at the John School in Blackheath studying A-level music and politics. He was also an active member at the Young Mayors team working to support with youth democracy in Lewisham. Morgan's talent for piano was discovered shortly after he was diagnosed at 3 with autism. He had the gift of a perfect pitch, the ability to identify and or produce musical tone correctly without the benefit of an external reference.
Yeah.
Gradually he learned to play different genres and performed at various events. He recently performed at the Lewisham Positive Ageing Council's Christmas party. In the early weeks of lockdown, the teenager experienced difficulties and anxiety with the sudden changes in his daily school routine. Before lockdown, Morgan was due to attend a Jack Petchey celebration event nominated for award by his former school for his contribution to the music department. During the lockdown, he wanted to help others that were also struggling. In between his home learning, the pianist set about recording 30-minute videos of himself playing the piano. With the help of the Young Mayors team, his videos were shared with the Lewisham Be Involved and the Lewisham Positive Ageing Council. Lots of Lewisham in there. Yeah.
Lewisham edition.
Lewisham.
Oh, there's loads going on in Lewisham. No, I love that. And you know what? There's so many examples of people doing amazing stuff in their communities throughout the UK and throughout the world. And you know what? It's those examples we love to share because it just means, any difference isn't a little one, is it? It makes a difference to your local community. One thing I do want to mention before we get on to the next article that you've got is one thing you can make a difference in your local communities, and something I'm doing today is giving blood. So I assumed that during lockdown that people wouldn't be giving blood. I thought
But people still need blood.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know whether sort of going to give blood broke any of the social isolation rules. But I had my letter through the post about confirming my appointment last week, and I had a text and a link to a website saying, look, actually, we need people to continue to give blood during this time. To support what our doctors and nurses are doing. And I've been doing it I've got to be honest, right? Giving blood for me isn't only about giving something back.
It's about the biscuits.
It's about the biscuits. You go along. No, I love a freebie. Free tea, free orange juice, free biscuits, free cheeky chat with a nurse. And Justin, if you're still watching, you know I love a cheeky chat with a nurse. So
he is still watching. He's going to learn the cello next year.
Oh, amazing! Well done. So a cheeky chat with a nurse. I think, why wouldn't you give blood? That's what I'm saying. That's worth it alone. Okay, maybe the biscuits thrown in a part of it, but certainly have a look at the blood donation website. You can find that at www.blood.co.uk. But certainly have a look there. If you put your postcode in, you'll find how to donate blood near you. And if you're one of our international listeners, please have a look at your country of origin to give blood. I mean, Justin's agreeing that giving blood is a amazing thing to do. So thanks for that comment, Justin. Didn't mention the cheeky chat with a nurse comment, but we'll let you go on. What's your next story?
I do have two more topics. So
go on and tell me.
We could shuffle right along.
You know what? Now you're running the show, it's slightly less shambolic. I mean, it's a bit more organised. I've got to be honest. Crack on.
Literature. Making meaning of the pandemic through the lens of literature. Weeks before the coronavirus... Sorry, my eyes just
I'll do it. Weeks before the coronavirus hit, the 99 Princeton undergraduates in the spring course Literature and Medicine were already immersed in the many ways storytelling shapes the way we understand and experience illness, disease and health. Now from their laptops scattered around the world, the students are discovering that literary texts are not only keeping them connected to one another, but also helping them grapple with their own experience of the pandemic. Just a question for our live viewers and our listeners. Certainly part of the way that I've coped with what's going on, and just just to be clear, it is Mental Health Awareness Week this week.
That was the next one I want to.
All right, no, I won't steal your thunder. Just wanted to give it a shout out, right?
Thing.
It is Mental Health Awareness, but part of the way that I've coped is by cataloguing what's been going on in our world, and I've done that by doing some writing that I'm keeping to myself at the minute, but doing secret writing, but also doing this podcast. So I've got to be honest. I've got to really thank you. Don't. You make me cry. I've got to really thank you because part of maintaining my positivity and my positive mental health has genuinely been doing this with you.
Your hand was sweaty on my arm.
You put your heart on your line. You
It
put
was
your
laugh or cry at that moment, and I chose.
you put your heart on the line with your children. You're genuine, and that's the reaction you get. I mean, what do you do? What do you do about that? You get laughed at. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Carry on. I'm giving up.
Love you, Papa.
Literally, I was like, this is how I feel, and all the only reaction was gone. Go on, crack on.
I noticed it.
I noticed it. That's even worse. Hold on. You noticed it. You noticed it.
I absorbed it. I took it in.
and
I smiled for a few seconds, and then I realised your hand was sweaty on my arm. I started laughing.
That's what happens when you have kids, people, right? You bring them up. You try and do your best. You try and learn lessons from your thing and try and be a bit more open emotionally. And the only thing your children remember about you in that moment of genuine emotion giving is, God, you've got sweaty hands.
It was right on the other side of my arm.
Go on.
Okay. The mental health awareness thing.
What are you doing to my mental health in a minute? Christ.
Not this one. Okay, so looking after your mental health and well-being when staying at home.
I think Charlotte's got some tips.
An article from the Mental Health Foundation.
Yeah, take a look at some of the stuff on there, particularly if lockdown is been challenging.
Of things that we should be
Yeah,
doing.
and let's see how many we're doing. And listeners, if you're doing some of these, and viewers, if you're doing some of these, just let us know, because it'd be good to know what you're doing to maintain your own positive mental health in this situation.
Okay, step 1. Plan your day.
Plan your day.
Please don't make fun of me.
Okay. Are you gonna call me sweaty hands anymore or what? So
I never meant for you to take offence. It wasn't an offensive thing.
no, fair enough.
Plan your day. We are all adjusting to a new, rather strange way of life. This can be a risk to your mental well-being. As tempting as it might be to stay in your pyjamas all day, regular routines are essential for our identity, self-confidence and purpose. Try to start your day at roughly the same time you usually would, and aim to set aside time each day for movement, relaxation, connection and reflection.
Relaxation, connection, and reflection. I like that. Can I just say, Sophie's here. Can I just
There's no
say?
Zoom call this time.
Can I just say thank you to the listeners and viewers who've made the Kindness Project part of their day. I know we've had loads of people who have emailed us and sent me messages saying the Kindness Project has made them smile in the morning. So that's good. We really appreciate that.
I just read Justin's comment.
But certainly, we'll ignore that for the minute. We'll come to that. But certainly, getting up, doing what you need to do. I mean, I've still been working, so that's been quite useful. But certainly, getting up and doing this 3-4 times a week has been quite useful as well, right?
Yeah, it's a structure. We start at 9:30.
Can I just say, it's helped my own positive mental health. I'm not touching you. Hug. We gotta get a hug this time. I get a
Your shoulder is bad.
Okay, number 2. not only my hands. Now there's something wrong with my shoulder.
Okay, Move more every day. Being active reduces stress, increases energy levels, and can make us more alert and help us sleep better. Explore different ways of adding physical movement and activity to your day and find some that work best for you. Even at home, there will be lots of ways to exercise and keep your body moving.
Yeah, so I mean, we're lucky where we are. We've got a Cannock Park where I can go for a run at the back of the house. I've got a home gym at the end of the garden. So we're really lucky. But just find something to keep you moving. Walk, run, bike. You know, just stay active. I mean, you've made that part of your routine, haven't you?
Yes, at 3:10 I finish. At 3:15 I leave. And you don't see me until 4:30.
Well, you went out for like 4 hours yesterday,
Yes,
didn't you?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so yeah, make sure you're making the most of that exercise. And now lockdown's been relaxed a little bit. You can do a bit more than that.
Okay, number 3. Try a relaxation technique. Relaxing and focusing on the present can help improve your mental health and lighten negative feelings. Try some different meditation or breathing exercises to see what helps. For example, sometimes we can be so tense that we do not even remember what being relaxed feels like. Oh boy, I got you there.
I'm feeling your pain. Right, so one thing I wanted to point out, on our live show on Friday, we had a mindfulness expert on.
Friday? It seems like so long ago.
It was Friday. So we had Adrian, who runs a mindfulness business, come on and actually do a little mindfulness exercise live on the show. Charlotte and I both failed badly because
you were trying to control the live stream with your eyes closed.
I was not a good move.
It wasn't a good idea.
With my sweaty hands, and basically, give that a rewatch because he shares some really useful tips and ideas about how you might be a bit more mindful.
Well, we're gonna have to get to Justin's comment because I just keep going to it. It's like.
Yeah.
But we can get to it at the end of this list. It's only 3 more things. Connect with others. Staying at home, especially if you live on your own, can feel lonely. Find creative ways to keep in touch with co-workers, friends, family, and others to help you and them feel more connected and supported.
Yeah.
Number 5.
So, quick question to our viewers and listeners: how have you stayed connected during lockdown? I think we might make that the next question of the podcast. That might be a good one. What have you been doing in lockdown to stay connected? Certainly, this has been one of our ways to stay connected.
Yes.
We've been using House Party and Zoom.
I've seen on several occasions people having chats in our watch party. Just like simple. Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
We really like that. Like little ways to connect with the world. So thank you for staying connected. Next,
number 5. That probably went way out of camera, but you know.
Number 5. Go on.
Take time to reflect and practice self-compassion. Make time every day to reflect on what went well. It's important to recognise your successes and the things you are grateful for, no matter how small. Consider keeping a gratitude journal each day where you could write 2 or 3 of these things every night before you go to bed.
So one of the things that I'm doing during lockdown is writing the Kindness Project book. So I've got 65,000 words of unedited stuff from the amazing guests we've seen over the last 3 years. And part of the job that I'm trying to get done in lockdown is edit some of those words into a form that people might want to read with my sweaty hands. And
I can't believe you might have your second book out before I even get to my first.
Listen, I didn't publish a book till I was 40, so look, I mean, I'm trying to make up for lost time here, and the first one was about pension. So let's be honest.
Our first one isn't always our greatest. I mean, I have 20 chapters of a completed book that just isn't going to go nowhere.
It might. But one of the first chapters is how we talk about, and we've learned from loads of guests over the years about this, is being a bit kinder to yourself. You know, we on my other live podcast, which is about normally talking all Savello Live, normally talking about all things money. I had a control of that one. You will be. I had a teacher, financial education teacher of the year, come on a few weeks ago to talk about homeschooling, in particularly in particular teaching our kids about money. And one of the things that she said was really interesting, because I asked her, I said, look, being a homeschooling, being in this homeschooling situation, you sometimes think you're not doing a particularly good job. And she said, just be kind to yourself. This is an unusual circumstance, so be easy on yourself. And I think that pressure sometimes we put on ourselves to be perfect, we just need to go a bit easier on ourselves, don't we?
Yes, I have one more thing, but I'm just going through and liking everyone's comments.
No, I'll do that. Go on, you carry on.
They should be getting some appreciation. So, number 6, the final one before we move on to the end of the show. Improve your sleep. Feelings of uncertainty and changes to daily life mean you have more difficulty sleeping. There is a lot you can do to improve your sleep. Aim to go to bed and get up at the same time each day, even at the weekend if you can, and try to get some natural sunlight by opening your curtains and windows where possible. This helps to regulate your body clock, which can help you sleep better. Wind down before bed by avoiding using your phone, tablet, computer or TV for an hour before bedtime.
You know what? That's the one I need to improve on.
Yeah, me too.
And I think what we'll probably do is get a sleep expert. I've got one in mind actually, a sleep expert that I know on to talk about how to sleep better on during lockdown and more generally. So look out for that show. We haven't got a guest today, but we've got some amazing guests waiting to be confirmed and lined up, and we've got some video interviews we're going to be doing with people in the States where the time zones don't work, and we'll be showing those on future episodes of the Kindness Project Live and on the podcast. So look out for those. We'll put a little schedule on who we're going to be interviewing over the next few days for the next few weeks. So all good, but. While Charlotte's looking up the question of the podcast, here's our opportunity just to talk about something you can do for us. So hopefully you're enjoying the show. Hopefully you're really enjoying tuning in. But what I want to do is make sure that we highlight stories of people doing amazing stuff in the world that you know. So we've already, thanks to Trev, who introduced me to Steve Stewart, who's got an amazing charity looking after the homeless, particularly during the COVID crisis. But who do you know who'd like to come on the show to be interviewed, who does amazing stuff in the world that we could highlight? It doesn't need to be from charity, it can be from any walk of life, but they need to have a story to share that inspires, gives people hope, motivates people to do their own contribution in positivity to the world. If you know anybody like that, and let's be honest, we all do, don't we? We all do. I mean, I'm lucky because I run this thing that we've met amazing people doing great stuff in the world, and quite a decent number of them. But introduce us to the people that you know so that we can help use our reach and use our audience to share their story. Just DM me on Facebook, direct message me on Twitter. I'm at Chris Daems, ChrisDaems, or add a link. You can reach out with us whatever way you want. Pigeon, I think we take messages by pigeon, don't we?
I thought we were taking crows.
Crows, yeah, crows to the house. Or whatever way you want to do it. But let's help the people you know share their stories of positivity. And if you've got a particular story of positivity you'd like us to share to help inspire our audience, give us a shout, because we're always happy to help.
Okay, so question of the podcast. Woo. Sorry, I've got 3 screens in front of me.
I don't think you've got enough screens, to be honest. Should we put another screen up?
And then this one and this one here are yours, but everything for the podcast except all of the show notes are on there. So I'm like, do I go? So here we go. Sorry, I'm rambling.
So, question of the podcast for today was
best flower.
What's the world's best flower? We'll come on to Steve's in a minute, and John's. Archie found this really difficult to answer because she said there are so many. Dave Forsdyke, the legend that is Dave, the legend,
Forsdyke.
Friend of the show, said the rose, a symbol of love, comes in an endless array of colours, smells divine, and is edible. Yeah, it's edible. And you mentioned on the notes that different colours of roses have different meanings. No, I didn't know that. Talk to me about that.
So for about 3 years, I've been back and forth with this weird obsession with floriography, which is
Is that a thing? Floriography? Amazing.
it's like a Victorian thing. But some different roses
Well,
have...
our leeches.
No, the flower language. So if you wanted to communicate something to someone, you'd send them specific types of flowers because it would mean certain types of things. So like with roses, while the red roses mean like love and stuff like that, the light pink ones show like admiration. But depending on different sources, different roses mean different things, different flowers mean different things. Like violets are supposed to mean truth and honesty and also loyalty.
There must be something around how we use flowers to commemorate different events like weddings or funerals or celebrations or anniversaries or Christmas. Now, there must be an element of floriography in that because we select different colours for different times, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
What was the most surprising colour combination in terms of what it meant?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I just remember but then I forgot the password for my Facebook, so now I can't go back in and reply to his comment.
Okay.
Which is great.
Judith Hitchin said lilies and gerbera. I don't know what a gerbera is, do you?
No, I don't either.
We'll look that up.
Freesias. Sarah Robinson.
Are you reading it to yourself or I don't know?
It's just Sarah Robinson said freesias have a beautiful smell, but there are so many. Kelly Crouchman said gerbera and tulips. Trevor Robinson said bluebells.
Morning, dude.
Morning, dude. Roberta White said a sunny, happy flower, the daffodil, and of course the red rose. Hayley Ball said sunflowers. Lauren Ball said roses. Caroline Thompson said frangipani. They smell divine, especially when picked fresh in Kenya. Closely followed by tulips. Mandy Medlock said daffodils. Amanda Smead said bluebells. I've seen so many in lockdown. Tracy Dames said daffodils. They were my dad's favourite, as well as always said they were like girls with hats on.
And on Twitter,
yes, I did bring that up.
Chris G at Gilster100 said azalea. Michael Taggart said geranium. I grew a few when I was about 8, and it sparked a lifelong on-off love affair with floristry, but mostly off. Kate Shaw said peony. David Brooks said iris. One thing I want to just give a big shout out to Kate Shaw. I've talked about in a previous podcast. And as we're talking about mental health, it's probably worth bringing up. I was interviewed for a magazine approached me to interview me about resilience and mental health and exercise and how we sort of cope with the life in general. And this was pre-lockdown, and it was part of a series of shows called Good Life Gurus. Now, we've already established that I'm definitely not a guru. Yeah, we know that already, but Kate Shaw did a amazing one. She's a long distance ultra runner, and she talks about how long distance running helps her mental health. I'm not going to be running 50 miles in a hurry, but certainly it was a video that I learned a lot from. Now, weirdly, the guys who made that video, the magazine who made that video, the Good Life Gurus people, have emailed me again and say, would you come on and talk about being a good life guru during lockdown? Look down at my sweaty hands.
You never let them go on.
Looking down at my pathetic sweaty hands.
I never said they were pathetic.
And so there will be another video hopefully coming out soon. We're going to send them some footage talking about resilience and mental health through lockdown and my sweaty hands. So check that out. We'll put a link to Kate's Good Life Guru video in the show notes. David Brooks said Iris, and as a real nice act of kindness, Naomi said, the only iris in my garden came out yesterday, and she took a photo especially for David. So that was amazing. And that is it for another Kindness Project live show. But the end
It's never the end because I have a joke.
is never the end, because Charlotte's got a joke that she wants to share with you and I.
Yes. Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
Because of his sweaty hands.
No,
I don't know. Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
because he was outstanding in his field.
Because he was outstanding in his
He
field.
was outstanding in his field.
Oh, it is good, but I can't laugh. And on that note, my friends, have a lovely day. And we'll see you next time on the Kindness Project.
Bye.
Bye.